Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 282. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else gun enthusiasts may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for all things firearms related. In this show, we have a Ragna review, a side by side, some front sight, and a new PCC buffer system. And of course, we have the usual band of misfits called Rob, Zane, and Tony. So, uh, I, you know, I'm going to go first on what I did in guns just because, well, I did something.
It's your show, so you have the prerogative as the host.
Well, I can, but I didn't do much though, especially compared to well, Tony did a lot, even though he was something about having a cat or something. But we'll get into that later. I actually took a rifle out because I decided to take the red dot off it and mount a 3-9 scope on it because I realized that I don't have an AR that actually has anything past like 6 power. And so I figured this was the perfect rifle for it. So I took that out, zeroed it, was well pleased with it as I was shooting 2-inch swinger, at 200 yards every fifth shot, maybe. So I couldn't complain. It's actually the rifle that has the Ragna forearm on it that we're going to review here in a little bit. So now it has a scope. I guess I will let you guys go on with what you did now.
Well, since I'm not muted, I'll go. Well, let's see. I didn't do a whole lot. Been working, blah, 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 blah. I did, went for a bike ride this weekend, and I've been testing out this Bravo concealment holster that I got to work on that review and just get it out. But I went to a restaurant for breakfast, and I walked in, and it's a little mom and pop place and up the road from my house, and they had a sign on the front of it that said, lawful concealed carry welcome. We support the Second Amendment. So I said, okay, cool. This is a nice place to eat breakfast at.
Yep.
So, and then we got done. There's a couple of the bikers there, and they said, man, ride safe. Yeah, don't get wet. I looked at them. I said, won't be the first time, won't be the last time. Wasn't supposed to start raining till 11 o'clock. 10 o'clock, I got drenched going home.
Yeah.
Absolutely drenched, but oh well.
Yep, that's life. If it makes you feel any better, it's raining here right now, so.
Yeah, but you're inside.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm not riding a bike.
South Florida, it's gonna get poured every daggum afternoon. You can set your watch by the afternoon monsoons. Especially during the summer.
Yeah, that's about right.
Which basically means the kid I'm paying to mow my lawn is gonna get a workout this month.
Because it's going to be wet no matter what.
Well, no, because the lawn's going to grow twice as fast because it's getting wet every daggum day.
Yeah.
Mowed it last weekend, it already needs another cut.
Oh yeah, I hear you. That leaves Zane. You're not muted.
Yeah. I didn't do much. I jammed mags for an upcoming class. I put about 200 rounds in magazines, which isn't really my favorite thing to do, but it has to be done. So
if you have some sort of loader, it makes it go a lot faster.
I do. I got these thumbs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's called a thumb, and you just kind of stick them in there while you're watching TV.
Yeah. Okay.
That's exactly what I did about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Just like, AR mags. Okay, you just jam them in there while you're watching TV.
AR mags are easier to jam than...
Oh, yeah, we just push them.
Yeah. That's
the thing is that little mag loader Glock sends with you. To me, I've tried it, but it's like, meh.
Yeah, I don't use that either.
Yeah, your thumbs work better.
Well, the thing that you need to use is that mag loader that Ryan did a review for a while ago. American Magazine Loader, I think is the name of the company.
Oh, and, yeah.
Dude, I've used that for classes. It is awesome. I mean, it just saves your thumbs all day. All you do is put it on the table, stick your mag in like you're loading into a magazine well, and drop the bullets into the hole. Drop your rounds into the hole, into the chute, and push the mag down like you do a stapler.
Yep.
and it just loads them one after the other quickly.
Yeah, for Glock mag. That
Oh
thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen those. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's
Yeah,
it's $30 and it's worth it.
Yeah, it's
I'll
probably
have to
the
check into it.
best loader for the price.
That's
going.
not the Uplua. The Uplua, is it?
Oh
No.
no, it's something completely different, and
Okay.
it's pretty cool.
Because the Uplua,
Yeah.
that's just a one round at a time. The only thing
This-
about those multi-round things is I've seen people accidentally jam around in there backwards, and you wind up really mucking up your gun trying to clear it.
Actually, I got some video of it. I'll post it up tomorrow, just because it's so cool and so worthwhile for Glock mag. I don't know about any other manufacturer's magazine. I got it to work on my CZ, but you mess with it, I don't dig it.
And
Does
for
it
you
work
guys,
with aftermarket Glock mags? Like
yes, I believe it does.
Yes, it does, because that's all I got.
Well, I mean, they're all
I
pretty much
believe-
the same mag.
Yeah, if you go to the Firearms Insider and just search for like, I don't know,
Magazine
loader.
loader?
Oh yeah, or just loader, it'll probably show up, and you can read all about it. So
Extra.
I know, go visit the Firearms Insider. We got good stuff there. Tony, you're up.
Joe, good. Of course, I got out of the hospital Thursday, and against my wife's advice, I went out to the Minuteman Challenge on Fort Dix on Sunday. It was great. Had 3 new people come in: Randy, Joe, and Rob. Not you, Rob. If you don't remember not being there, it's because you weren't. And it was a lot of fun, man. We had new people shooting. My only job was to take pictures because Dave Rosenthal, or Rosie from CNJFO, came through to run the timer for me and handle RSO duties. So it was a lot of fun. I got some pictures. It was the Rimfire edition, and guys had a lot of fun shooting their different Rimfire rifles. We had, of course, 1022s represented. I brought in the Hunting Tactical HT60. Oh, excuse me. No, I'm sorry. The Hunting Tactical Super 60. And we got a few rounds through that. What else? Who else was there? They had an M&P 15. And Brian showed up with a CZ 22 Magnum. I think it was like 452 or something like that. But yeah, it had to be the most expensive one. If only because of the magazines were $55 a piece on CZ semi-automatic rifles, 22s. And one of the guys had an Arrow Precision, and I think he had a CMMG 22 conversion kit in it. So it was a lot of fun. And then I got exhausted and I went home and I got yelled at for going out because I was still sick. But the next Minuteman Challenge is coming up, and there's going to be semi-automatic handguns. So you can bring out your pimped out, tacked out handgun and compete at the next Minuteman Challenge, which is like the last Sunday of this month. So a lot of fun. Hopefully I'm better by then.
Yeah, nice. We hope you're doing better too, but at least you're not in the hospital anymore, so that's a plus.
Yeah. Yes, that's a big plus.
Yes, big plus.
Hey, Tony, is that the American Speed Loader?
Yep.
I believe so.
Okay,
That's
I just dropped a link in the...
show notes so people can check it out. Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I'll
Rob.
rename it.
You don't
worthwhile.
even have to do that. I mean, just leave it as it is.
Okay.
I mean, if they can't figure it out, then hey, it's just a button. So I'll get on to the announcements. Bandwidth sponsors Patriot Patch Co. New patches for pre-order. I didn't see any, but the Patch of the Month Club, you should go join it. The July exclusive is Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death. It's got a couple hands and some muskets, and it's cool. And a hatchet, and yeah, you get the idea. So Rob's trying to mess up my show notes, but
Hey, anything I can do to aggravate the crap out of you is my job.
check out Gunstreamer for firearm video content. If you're shopping Amazon, use our affiliate link at firearmsradio.tv/Amazon, and go to Instagram and find the original post for the Cube Compensator, and you can like it and tag some friends, and you can sign up to maybe win it. So I got that out of the way.
Can I win it?
No, you can't win it, Rob. I don't. I think you're kind of out of it. So sorry. Uh, you'll just have to go find them at some show and
I
ask them
think
if
he
they'll
was
give
going
you
to
one.
say GFYS.
But what you can do is read the disclaimer.
Oh, okay. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-hosts, do not reflect the official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employers. This is not legal advice, nor should it be considered as such, because we ain't lawyers. Viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows with this cast of characters assembled.
And actually, this cast of characters is pretty good, especially if you listen to Tony's podcast. Sometimes he gets a little riled up.
Yeah, we do a good job at censoring ourselves, and I don't count initials or abbreviations for stuff.
Right.
And Chad, let's talk about some Odinworks handguard, shall we?
We should. It's an actual review of this handguard. So, what we have, or what I have, I'm going to show it once, but I don't feel like holding this up because nobody really watches the video, is the Odinworks. It's called the Ragna, and they call them 4Ns. You can call them, rails. You can call them handguards, whatever you want to call them. But basically, it's for your standard AR-15. There, I held it up. Now people can be happy. Now I can set it down. I saw this 2018 SHOT Show, I believe. And, I was looking for a handguard for this rifle that I built and remembered they had this. And I was like, I like those. I think I'll hit them up. And sure enough, they sent one out. It is the M-Lock version. It's a pretty cool handguard. I reviewed their O2 light handguard, I don't know, a year and a half ago or something. I don't know. I looked it up. And the Ragna is also very light, just like the O2 light was. So when you pick up the package, you just kind of are like, is there really this handguard in there? It's got cutouts and stuff so you can see it, but you get the idea. The one I have is a 15.5 inch. Complete, it only weighs 10.35 ounces. That's barrel nut, hardware, everything. Part of the reason it's so light is they put these, I call them organic shaped cutouts in it. If you look at the review, you can, at the Firearms Insider, you can see what I mean. They also give it a unique look. I thought it's a kind of a cool look, but that's me. Some people may not like it, but hey, mounting it is super easy. I mean, if you've installed a barrel on an AR before or a handguard, you can do this. Take your old stuff off and send it to Tony. That's if it's not a new build. If it is, do what they say. They give you a little thing of Vibra-Tight adhesive thread locker stuff. They say to put a little on the receiver threads. Take the supplied barrel nut, tighten it to 50 foot-pounds. Install your gas block, your tube, slide the 4N on, line the top rail of the forearm up with your receiver. It's got two little set screws, one on each side. You tighten those up, and that will hold it in place. And then it has 3 screws on the bottom that clamp it all together. And it's installed. That's all there is to it. So super easy to install. You don't have to line up, time any nuts or shims or anything like that, which is a big plus. I mean, literally, it takes no time whatsoever if you have the right tools to do it. It is, as most handguards, unless you go carbon fiber or something, the Ragna's made from aluminum. They use 6061 T6, which is pretty much what everybody uses, and then they anodize it black. I think this one, right as of right now, only comes in black. Some of their others come in different colors. So basically, it gives it the same durability finish that your upper receiver has. Now, it does have 2 full-length M-LOK slots at 3 and 9 o'clock just out at the front, which, I'm okay with that. And then at 6 o'clock or the bottom, the M-LOK slots run the full length. And of course, the top uses a Picatinny rail along the whole thing. That's kind of a given. The whole top rail, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with. I like it, but then I don't like it because I really only need a little rail section at the front and back. And so their O2 handguard has that. This one, I don't know. I would think it would be pretty cool if they made this handguard and kind of cut the center section out of the pick rail, but that's me. Some people like full rails. The Ragna is loaded with other features. It's got quick, swivel disconnect holes on the front and rear. There's one on each side of the rear, one on each side of the front, but there is also one at the bottom on the front. I don't know if you like one there. So that's kind of nice. Now, because it is a long handguard, it does have the flexing problem that pretty much probably most handguards that are like M-LOK key mod that are 15 inches have. You can move it quite a bit. And as we know, if you were to mount a front sight, sling up, you can pull your point of impact quite a distance off with that. So, even if you mount like this thing that we're going to talk about, this sight later in the show, it would pull it off quite a distance. It doesn't have really any sharp edges. I mean, the cutouts are pretty large, and I'm dropping stuff, so but they're there. You don't really get caught on much. Most low profile gas blocks will fit underneath it. The inside diameter is 1.35 inches. So you can fit other accessories under the handguard. Like if you have a longer than barrel length handguard to run a suppressor. A lot of the 5.56 cans are 1.25 inch diameter, so they'd fit under. If you have like a 30 cal can, it probably wouldn't work, but some will. So there is that. It's a good performing handguard. It didn't let me down on anything I tried to do with it. I knew that it flexes, so I didn't sling up and see how much, but it's something to know with all of these. Also, most people don't probably need the slots down the full length of the forend, so I'm okay with the 2 full-size M-LOK slots on the sides at the front. So there is that. You can mount up a light or anything. It really kind of depends on what you want to do. I like the looks of it. It functions good. I'm happy with it. If you're in the market for it, you can check out Odinworks. They do have a 12.5 and a 17.5 inch version, which some people like the 17.5 if they have like an 18 or a 20 inch barrel. And not everybody makes a long handguard for that. It also, I will throw in that I forgot, it's angled down at the front, so it doesn't really get caught on anything. It's not like some of those that kind of have sharp corners and stuff where it's going to get caught with a lot of stuff. Because of all the cutouts, it also gives you a really good grip on the forend to grab it. Your fingers kind of mold into the little cutouts, which works well. But they aren't sharp, so they don't chew up your hand. So we'll get into the 8 key points. Claim to fame, it's a 15.5 inch lightweight handguard. Target markets pretty much anyone wanting lightweight, free float, handguard, forend. Features and benefits: does free float the barrel as most stuff do. It is type 2 hard anodized. It uses a one-piece barrel nut, and the barrel nut is steel and black nitride coated. It includes all the hardware, of course. It has a continuous top rail. Outside diameter, it's 2.02 inches tall by 1.52 inches around, basically. You can get key mod if you want. I don't know why you would want to, but that's my opinion. Most 750 low profile gas blocks will fit inside it, or 625, depending on which barrel you're running. It does weigh the 10.35 ounces. It is made in the USA. We already went over the other options. Couldn't find any other reviews. The MSRP on this is $179. So, it's in the ballpark with some of them, a little less than some, a little more than others. I think it's worth the money you pay for it. So if you need it now, there's a link to Odinworks. I also threw our buddies at Black Bag Resources in here because he is an Odinworks dealer. So he would be able to get you one also. So our rating, the pros, it's really lightweight. It feels good in the hands. It is M-LOK. Does have the top rail. It has the front rear quick connects, and it is made in the USA. The only real con I could find with this, as with all most long handguards, is it flexes quite a bit. But, besides that, installation was super easy. It's held up well. So I gave it a score of 8.5, which is great. If you guys have any questions, hit me up.
Yeah, they recommend you put the Loctite on the thread for the barrel nut.
Yes, and unlike grease, they recommend to tighten it to 50 foot-pounds. It's Vibratite is a weird substance. It's like this gooey gel.
Yeah,
and
I have some at the house.
It's a reusable, but they recommend you put it on the threads. And because I'm a terrible person, I still actually have, the box it came in, because I have not emptied the garbage in our den because it doesn't fill up that fast.
So why don't you just use regular Loctite?
Well, I just don't know. Well, I don't know.
I don't even know.
On a barrel nut.
And
Mil-Spec says use grease. So
right, it just says apply it to the threads on the upper receiver, per Vibratite's instructions. I don't know. I don't think you really need it, but they put it on there and install it. And with the Vibratite, it's kind of one of these weird things. It's called Vibratite because it resists vibration better than like Loctite do.
Right. Yeah. So now,
and I don't know, maybe that's the only reason they do that, in case maybe you're running full auto or something.
Now, I guess my question is the actual forend flex?
Oh yeah, here.
No, not okay. Like at the attach point, or is it like the whole thing actually flexing?
The whole thing. I don't know if I can.
Okay. The only thing I'm wondering is, I was looking at this and I see this drive manufacturers have to make forends lighter and lighter and lighter.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they're maybe carving out too much material to take away the strength.
Well, it's still strong, but see, like if you look at the picture, you can see me pushing the handguard.
I think a lot of it comes down to also is what's your use case for it. Like,
right.
Would I use this handguard with a PEC 15 up front? No, I wouldn't. But
right.
Would I use this for another use? Sure. So it all comes to, if you're going to run, or like Tony was talking about, even visible, lasers before the show. If you're running something like that, you're going to want a more sturdy handguard. If you're not, you might want something a little bit lighter.
And that's the thing, is
if use case,
Yeah, and like this one, like I said, I mounted an actual scope to it. I don't care if the handguard flexes. It has no iron sights. Well, even if I sling up in it and it pulls the handguard some,
You're not pulling your optic off at all.
Right,
Yeah.
because it's mounted to the receiver, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, like you said, it is use case specific. And it is a problem with a lot of the lightweight handguards. But, like everything, there's trade-offs.
And also, how much crap are you putting on your gun? If you're putting a ton of stuff out there,
About
you
the
might want
only
something more sturdy. But at the same time, you
Right.
might want to go lightweight if you're putting a ton of crap on the end of your gun.
Right, but like for me, if I mount anything to this, it'll be a light and that's it.
Yep, light and sling stud. That's about what I
Right,
need.
which it doesn't really need because it's got the holes in it for
Correct.
them. So yeah.
I like it. I was looking at it, and I like the 17.5-inch. Only because in my mind, I want to buy. I want my next one to be 18 to 20 inch, and I do have long arms, so it is what it is. My imaginary AR-15 that I'm building in my head all the time, even after I get one, I'm building the next one.
Yeah, I'm building a 12.5 in my head right now, and I'm really having to fight off the urge to start ordering parts because I don't need it, but
you don't need anything. You want everything.
It's true.
If I bought what I needed, I wouldn't have but maybe a drawer full of stuff. I would have 2 safes.
You'd have like 4 or 5 guns, and that's it.
Basically.
Yeah, I know.
And 1 rifle and 1 hunting gun and maybe a shotgun.
Yeah, but exactly, it's not needed. But yeah, that's the review on the Ragna 4-end. So now we'll get into the product spotlight and discussion. First up, it seems like these guys are releasing everything under the sun all the time. Black Aces has released a side-by-side. The MSRP is $569. But as in Black Aces, fashion, they also include what kind of grip is that? A bear claw grip. So you can take the stock off, put the bear claw grip on. I don't know why. I just was like, these guys keep releasing stuff.
They had this at NRAM, I believe. I'm pretty
They
sure.
they probably did.
I went by their booth, and I'm pretty sure it was there.
And
they had a break open side by side there. I'm guessing it was this one.
Yeah, it probably is. Basically, it's kind of like be considered like a coach gun. If you shot, I don't know much about Single Action Shooting Society, so I don't know if not having external hammers would throw it in a different class or not make it legal. But either way, it does not have exposed hammers. They come with an 18.5-inch barrels. Like we said, the stock and the bear claw grip. It only weighs 6.7 pounds. It does come with a bunch of different chokes. It uses Benelli style chokes, so you can get different chokes if you need them. It's nothing out of the ordinary. It's got a 14.25 length of pull, which I think is pretty long for this particular style gun, but hey, that's just me. It does have extractors, which not all break actions do. It has gold triggers, if that matters to you. It's got a barrel selector, of course. They say it's got good fit and finish, which I'd have to see one to see. But you can get it with various different stocks. Like you can get, I think the one we put in the show notes is just your standard wood, but you can get the black wood also if you would like. They seem to be doing a lot of those, the blackened stocks. I saw the press release and I was like, yeah, these guys keep coming out with some odd stuff, but this is more mainstream, so to speak, for Black Aces Tactical.
The more I think about it, I think the one they had at NRAM was actually a firearm, not a shotgun, and it was definitely break open.
Oh, was it one of those where it doesn't have a grip on it?
Yeah, it did. I can't remember, but I did check out one of their break action guns. It seemed well made, but kind of, I don't know. Whatever, if you're into these kind of guns.
I didn't get over to Black Aces at NRAM. I spent a lot of time with them at Great American Outdoor Show, and I didn't see this, which I would have went Google Gaga over because yes, I want a coach gun just to have a coach gun, and this just looks cool. It uses Benelli chokes, and I think their length of pull is a little long at 14 1/4 inches.
Yeah, that's what
Hey,
I was
Tony.
saying.
Yeah.
Do you have a hacksaw?
Oh, Lord.
Well, it's as the length of pull is really short when you put that bear claw grip on.
Yeah. Well, you go from too long to that's just
short.
a bad idea.
That's the problem with the bear claw grip on it is it looks stupid with 18.5-inch barrels.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bear claw grip would look great with 10-inch barrels.
Oh yeah.
Well, when it becomes a firearm, when you can do that and
Yeah.
get the less than 14-inch, I think that's what a lot of the barrels are, 12 inches.
Yeah, I think it's 14.
Yeah,
You can get away with a firearm.
Yeah, but you're talking something that'd just be longer than the fore end on that thing, you know?
Yeah, and that really falls under that Ithaca car and home or whatever. The old school sawed-offs that they made them stop selling back in the 30s.
Yeah.
But that would put you in that category.
They did mention
That's what
they
it's
must
called.
they must be watching the show notes. It was at NRAM, and it was the shotgun, and it had the full stock under the bear claw. So
Okay. I knew
Yeah,
I
'cause-
checked out one of their break action guns there. I
Yeah.
just couldn't remember which one.
I think this is their only break action gun, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm
At
looking
least-
down their webpage right now. I don't see any other break action guns.
Yeah.
Everything else I've got is either semi-automatic or pump. Most of it's all shotguns or those
Well,
quote unquote
so if this
firearms
was
because
the-
they don't have a stock on them, you know?
Right.
So
And
if this was the one they had there, then I
Yeah.
checked it out. I picked it up. I broke open, looked down. I mean, everything seemed to be well made. The action was quite smooth.
Yeah.
These are not my type of guns. I want one with 10-inch barrels, but I just have a hard time giving the government $200. So
Hey, Thane?
I hear you.
I got a funny feeling though that if you're looking at this versus their firearm, they probably make a firearm one with a shorter barrel and a no grip on it. It's
They-
probably the
Yeah,
same action and everything.
They did
yeah, they probably
mention
will, but I want 10-inch barrels. So
they did
can't do a
mention that
firearm with 10-inch.
with the bear claw, it's 26.5-inch overall length, so the same as like a shockwave.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. So you really
I
can't
just-
go any shorter.
Right.
I want one. I've been telling Black Aces Tactical I want one of their guns. Pretty much since they were selling the kits for the freaking 500s. I mean, is what it is. I love a double barrel. Just the concept to me is really cool, especially when you live in a restrictive state like this. That's why my self-defense gun is still a pump action 12 gauge because God forbid I don't want some DA trying to make a name for herself on my back with a good defensive shooting. And that happens in states like this.
Yeah, and exactly.
Just remember, Tony, no matter what you do, they're going to make a name for themselves in any state.
No, I mean I've heard secondhand the statement that this person is big in the 2A community and I can make it for myself when it comes to whether or not they would press charges over something that could have gone either way. And that's a reality in a state like this. So yeah, that's why pump action shotgun is something I recommend for people in states that just have douchebag prosecutors that try to make a name off of citizens.
Well, also, I mean, if you go by the good guy Joe Biden's home defense plan, this is the perfect firearm.
Yeah, don't do that. You'll go to jail.
Because you just have to run out on your balcony and fire 2 blasts in the air. That's
Yeah,
go by
let's.
school of self-defense.
Well, nobody needs to be told that's a bad idea. It came from Daddy Fondle Us, Joe Biden.
Apparently,
No, it's Daddy
apparently
Touch
old
Us.
Creepy Joe needs to be told.
Yeah.
Now, because I didn't mention it, you can also get these with I guess it's a nickel, maybe receiver instead of the black. It's silverish colored, so you can
I
get.
think that's the one they had at NRAM.
Yeah, it might have been, but either way, and they're all the same price. They're all the 569. So
Call me old school. I like the walnut.
in this particular case, I prefer the walnut also, and
Mhm.
I prefer
Even I-
the blued
Even I
one.
agree.
I mean, to me, this would be something cool. I think just to buy and hang on your wall.
Well, this is something, this is something I would buy, and I would take it out and shoot trap with it just because.
You just to tick the old dudes off.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, because I've taken my personal.
Hey, you really want to torque off the old guys from shooting trap? Show up with a Benelli M3 Super 90.
I've shown up with my Beretta 1201
Nice.
with rifle sights. Let's just say I didn't do too well, but it sure was fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've got one of those Benelli M3 Super 90s, one that's semi-automatic or pump. I show up there and he goes, "What the hell are you doing here with that riot gun?" I'm like,
Uh-huh.
practicing defending myself.
That's right. Shooting moving targets.
I
Yeah,
don't know. I think this thing would be really awesome with about a 10-inch length of pull and 10-inch barrels on it. But again, giving that
Yeah.
government $200.
Listen to this guy. Yeah, 10-inch length of pull, 10-inch barrels, and reduced recoil loads. Yeah, I know. I know, tough guy.
I got a whole case of flight
A
control
guy-
reduced recoil at the house.
You got a whole bunch of Gila mini shells you want to run through this. Yes, I know, tough guy.
Oh, you know what? I bet those mini shells would be nice in this though, because you don't have to worry about cycling issues.
Yeah, and they have like no recoil. They'd be awesome for you, Zane.
I have shot them before, and
Yeah, I know. I have some or had some. I can't remember. So, okay, we've concluded that this is cool, and I'm kind of with Zane. I would love to have something like this with like short barrels and make it an SBR or SBS. I guess.
SBS, yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know if I'd want to pay
actually,
$200 for it.
if they made it from the factory like that, it would be an AOW, right? If it was never a shotgun ahead of time.
Well, it depends on the length.
oh man, this is the part we say we ain't lawyers, right?
Right. I'm just
Yeah, we
thinking
already
if it
said
was-
that.
If it was designed originally as an AOW, it'd only be $5. I could maybe give the government $5.
Hey, listen, Black Aces is in the
They're in the
comments
chat.
on the YouTube, so ask them.
Hint,
I'm
hint.
not a NFA expert, but I'm pretty sure if it was never a shotgun ahead of time, then that would be kosher and it'd be
I
an
thi-
AOW.
I think Black Aces does enough of this stuff that they might know if it is or not.
Look, if there's one thing Black Aces is good at, it's pissing off the
Oh.
ATF.
They
And I
did
love
say it. If it comes with a stock, it's automatically a shotgun.
Oh yeah, no, that's right because it's designed to be fired from the shoulder.
Yep.
Oh,
So,
well.
So then skip the shotgun and get one of those little pistol grip doohickeys.
well, they already have one. They just put
They
it on
already
there.
got it, man.
Yeah.
They're down.
Yep. There we
Hey,
go.
listen, Black
You
Aces
know, get one of the
Tacticals.
pistol grip doohickeys with a 10-inch barrel is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know what the overall length would be if it would. I think they.
Well, then it'd be
It would
AOW, I think, right?
It might be. I don't think so because it's smooth bore.
Boy,
But
y'all hurt my
like
brain.
we said, we're not lawyers. We'll let them figure that out. So
Let's talk about the next product.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna go
here
on.
we go.
I'm gonna go on to something that we like the Black Aces Tactical. Now this, okay, Zane told me to put this in the show notes. This is
Let's
and
get the cuss mic ready.
yeah, and I got my piece of paper out so I can edit this later.
Did I request this? I don't remember. doing
Yes, you
that.
did.
Oh.
Yeah,
Last
seem like
week-
we put stupid crap in our things.
So what it is, I mean, it's summer, so a lot of people don't release anything, so it's kind of hard to find stuff. So this is great. Midwest Industries has come out with a PEC front sight, and so for if you have a PEC, then
I do.
you can put the front sight on, and we'll explain that part. MSRP is $124.95, and here's where it gets fun. I will go through this. It's designed to work with PEC 15. Only takes up one rail slot. It is an F marked front sight height. So you get your M4 sight picture, it says. You can adjust it with the standard A2 front post tool or your standard, M855 ball, to adjust the front sight. It says it's compatible with, all the night vision, night / high vis front sight posts. It has machined in recoil lug, which I guess that's helpful. Steel clamp screws. It is made from aluminum. It is hard coat anodized. It does have 1.5 MOA per click adjustment, and it weighs 1.1 ounces. But the problem with it is it will block some of the illuminator. So
Yeah,
Zane,
so the idea. So
Yeah,
when you
go
put when you put a backup sights on your gun, in this case, we're talking about a tertiary aiming device, right? Because you already have an IR illuminator, which means you're running night vision. You have your red dot or your LPV or whatever. So basically, dudes were having problems finding a place to put backup irons because dudes wanted backup irons. And so there was another company that came out with this nifty little thing that you could put right in front of the peg. That didn't take up any space. It didn't get in the way of any of your other controls. And so I guess Midwest is like, yo, dog, let me copy your homework and change it up a little bit. And they completely obviously didn't understand the purpose because they made it too thick to where you're going to get splashed from the illuminator and block half of it. So it defeats the purpose because now your tertiary aiming device is interfering with your primary illumination source, which is stupid. So congratulations, Midwest. You completely screwed this one up.
Now, to be fair, because I was looking at, and I went out and looked for, what Midwest is saying about it, and they get attacked on some of the forums, mainly because they bought 3 of these, used them for research,
yeah,
and then sold them.
Yes, and they bought them at industry pricing too.
Yeah. So yeah, they did some real dirt. Now, my question is this: I'm assuming Midwest Industries tried these out, and they didn't get splashed. I mean, I know what you're saying from a design standpoint. It looks like you're going to get splashed from the IR, but are they really though?
I mean, I don't have one, nor do I have a PEC, so I can't answer that. But I'm gonna assume that they probably were just trying to get around any patent infringement, and they just didn't comprehend. I think they were thinking about how to not take up too much space and how to mount it without blocking anything, but it never dawned on them. I don't think they fully comprehended what they were trying to design. That's what I think happened.
Okay, so I'm looking at it like if you have PEC money, which
Right.
is what, $1,500.
Yeah, and then also you got to be able to see that IR, which you're looking at several thousand for if you're running dual tubes, like 8,000.
So are you really trying to save $100 on the difference between a rail scale, which has a history of working, or are you going to go with save the $100 on your thousands of dollars you've dedicated to night
Right.
site use over something from Midwest Industries?
And you got to also think that the several $1,000s and this is not a toy either, probably for you. This is probably a serious work gun if you're putting a tertiary aiming device on. If this is just for popping hogs on the farm, you already got 2 aiming devices. So you probably couldn't care less about backup irons. So this is a very, very small niche use. And I just don't see, like you say, trying to save $100. Like after you've already got 10,000 invested in the platform.
And that's what I'm looking at, dude. And so I forgot what forum it is, but Midwest Industries is trying to explain their position and saying that they purchased the Leaf site because let's quit BS. And this is a copy of the Leaf, and they said does better because they can get it to 0 at 25 and 50, and they couldn't do that with the Leaf site. So that's why Midwest Industries developed this, according to Troy from Midwest Industries.
Right.
And they put it out, and it's not a patent infringement like some people were saying. This is their very own thing. I look at it like that $100 savings is not going to come through for the amount of money you're going to spend on everything else to get where you're at with
Well,
the pack, with the night vision goggles, with everything else. So, hey,
hey Tony,
they don't know. Yeah, go ahead, man.
this is kind of like buying a Ferrari for $2 million and complaining about a $40,000 set of tires.
Yeah,
Not
I mean,
you're
not even
spending so
that.
much money on your nods, on your helmet, your vision, the thing you put on the front of the rifle. You're probably into $5,000 by the time you get done with this. This is going to be $100.
yeah.
Eh.
And if you're in at $5,000, like you have done some wheeling and dealing, because yeah,
You
I
can
don't
tell
know.
I know a lot about night vision.
Yeah, I mean, a decent dual tube setup is going to cost you at least $8,000.
So there you go.
See.
So I look at it this way. They did their version of something else, whether it's copyright infringement or intellectual property or not. They did their version.
I don't think
And-
it's a patent infringement at all. I mean, it's different enough for sure.
No, I mean, a lot of people were screaming patent infringement, and it was a big thing on their Instagram. Yeah, you see lawyers need to take a chill pill. But what I'm looking at is I'd go with what already works. And I wouldn't know if Midwest Industries has a track record for this particular front sight working with that PEC 15.
I mean, it probably worked great with like the PEC you buy from Wish.com. And that's another
Oh,
thing.
man.
If your primary sighting system goes down and your secondary sighting system goes down, stop buying your optics from Wish. Like,
Nice.
seriously, stop doing that.
End of the world. EMP.
Just as good.
Yeah, whatever.
EMP, just as good.
Okay.
Yeah, good initiative, bad judgment.
Yeah. Well, it's out there. Take a look for yourself and see which one you think is going to work for you. That's all I'm going to say. That was the Midwest Industries PEC front sight. So now we'll get into something that I thought was pretty cool, but I've never seen it. TACCOM has come out with a delayed blowback 9mm buffer system for PCCs with an MSRP of $149.95. This thing, I really liked that they put some thought into how this works. And I'll go over some of it. It is a delayed blowback recoil system that uses rare earth neodymium magnets to retard the movement of the bolt for a split second. Allows for the pressure in the chamber to drop before sending the bolt back in your straight blowback recoil. So you can have a lighter system, yet, it still has the same mass. It's kind of so you have less felt recoil, less actual, sight movement because you don't have this huge mass hitting the back of your buffer tube, etc. They have used it well over 10,000 rounds. Let's see if I'm missing anything. Provides less sight bounce, flat wire recoil spring. It's got a second cushion at the end, another little spring to help there. Works in any carbine buffer tube. Works with any hollow pistol caliber bolt. It is self-contained, so you just drop it in. It says you don't need the traditional detent pin. Basically, I don't know. I know how my PCC runs, and it's that heavy mass moving back and forth is not always the nicest. I have a pretty heavy buffer to help with that, but I think something like this might help. I really liked how they put some thought in and they're like, hey, why can't we use magnets? Hey, why not? I mean, it sounds good to me. To help delay that, you'll also get less. Like if you're running a suppressor, you're definitely going to get less blowback in the face probably with this delayed system. But otherwise, being straight blowback, any reduction in having the bolt closed for another, millisecond will probably help with that. I don't, it's just kind of one of those things. I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. Some people might want to hear about it. I thought it was a cool idea. At least it's innovative and not something other people have done. So, I'll let Zane chime in since he actually also has a pistol caliber pistol.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting concept. I was looking at it, and it accomplishes what a heavier buffer does. It seems like in a better fashion. It almost like mixes a piston system, or not a piston system. It mixes a legit delayed. I mean, it makes a delayed blowback basically. So it's going to operate almost as if it has to unlock before it comes back, even though it's still technically blowback. I don't know,
Right.
it looks very interesting. Could keep the gun cleaner, also,
Yes.
which is a good thing. If you hate cleaning guns, I don't know. It's definitely interesting. Price tag is
Yeah.
it's not cheap, but I don't think it's outrageously expensive either for what you're getting.
Yeah, because what do some of the silent ones run for, like standard ARs? They're like, $90.
$185, $190 for
Yeah.
Yeah,
JP
So,
Enterprises.
yeah. So you're looking at what, a 150 for this?
yeah. So,
Not out of the question. I mean, it's more than you're going to pay for a heavy buffer tube
yeah, it's
or a
more
heavy
than the
buffer.
$40 you're paying for a heavy buffer, but
But if it's delaying the opening just a little bit, and I'd have to see exactly kind of how it works, because I don't know.
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting. I'll just leave it at that.
yeah, and that's what I was thinking too. So
I don't have a PCC that uses a buffer tube like this. This would go in the actual buffer, like an AR-15.
yes, it replaces the buffer and spring.
So it's actually got to be pretty decent size and not some little. Because I'm looking at this going, this is about the size of a Glock recoil spring,
No.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
no,
the
it's
size of a buffer and spring.
yeah, it's gonna be probably what 6-7 inches long.
No.
Okay. Because I don't see, because they didn't have the
They don't.
dimensions unless I
Yeah, they
missed
don't.
them.
I didn't see any dimensions on it. But hey, I was okay. But yeah, and it's gonna be the same diameter, whatever that, 3/4 of an inch or whatever it is.
Okay, because the picture's throwing me off. Because the way it looks, I'm looking at this going, dang, that looks like a Glock buffer
Yeah.
or a Glock spring,
It would have been nice if they'd taken a picture like next to a buffer tube, like
Mhm.
so you'd get an idea. Because yeah, it looks from the pictures like a standard Glock recoil spring assembly or something. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yet another fail by a company on their website. I'm looking at it going, it's more expensive than something conventional, but it may work better. And again, it's something they came up with on their own, so it's going to be more expensive, I feel. But once you get into the whole captured, silent, whatever, of JP Enterprises, because that's somebody else that does something like this. Now you're getting into real money. You're getting almost $200. So I'm looking at it going, hey, it might be a good idea if you want to go the unconventional route. And like you said, Chad, I mean, it's that heavy weight going back and forth. It's not pleasant.
Now, the difference between this and putting like a heavier buffer in would be that the buffer uses weight itself to delay the opening, where this is using spring tension.
It's
Yeah.
it's using
delay.
it's using the magnets to delay it.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so it's like got a
Yeah, it had-
mechanical function basically.
Yeah, it
right.
had to overcome that resistance of the magnets to separate the magnets to get it to move
And then my assumption is
for traction.
after it overcomes the magnets, then it's just like a regular recoil system. Is
So
what I
instead
get out of it.
slowing everything down, it's legitimately just delaying the opening.
Yep. It's delaying the opening, which means less mass moving back also. That's the
Right.
way I look at it.
So that sounds much more desirable than just throwing a heavier buffer in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They have my attention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's kind of exactly what it was with me. I was like, oh, somebody actually designed something from the ground up, and
Yeah.
it's interesting.
And even a cheap dude like me is looking at it going, the price is not crazy for the difference that it might make, especially if you're running competition.
Right.
And that transition or shot to shot thing is really important. This makes it easier. And for, let's just go ahead and say, double the money, because you can buy a heavy buffer and spring and everything for about $50 to $75, depends on which one you purchase.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds all right.
So now this is 1.5. Okay, but it's different and it might work better. So hey,
I'm
there you
also
go.
thinking it's gonna not wear your gun out as fast either, because putting that heavier stuff in there, while it does delay the opening a little bit, now you're got more mass you're slinging back and forth.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I'd like to
Hey,
see how it works in
this
person, but
hey, call them up, man. Hey, you run stuff and you run PCCs in competition, right?
once in a great while, yeah.
All right, well,
But
make it less than a great while, because I just got an email, someone asking me about running it at the local range, using that high point, which hasn't let me down yet. But I also have something from Matador Arms that they want me to build a PCC using the 320 magazine adapter that they came
oh
out
yeah,
with.
yeah, that they came out with, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, there might be PCC in my future. And hey,
Yeah.
there's no shame in my game. I'll ask for anything for free. Hey, Black Ace is Tactical. You still around? Just saying.
Yeah, no kidding.
For like the 14th time tonight.
Yeah. Okay, so that was the TACCOM delayed blowback 9mm buffer system. That's a mouthful.
That's what she said.
Oh jeez.
Yes!
Says the guy that likes the 17.5-inch.
Know what I'm dealing with. Go big, go home.
So, our listener feedback. We have some's funny and not really feedback. The other is makes perfect sense. What was it, last week or the week before? Justin W sent us this. It's for the Boyd's Ruger American AICS bottom metal that we talked about. It said, I just listened to the podcast episode where you talked about the Boyd's bottom metal for the Ruger American rifles. I felt like everyone missed the point of these, and I just wanted to share my take. The new Ruger American rifles come already equipped with AI style magazines. I think I am an exact target market for those, as I have one of the older model Ruger American Predators in a Boyd's at one stock, using Ruger's terrible rotary magazines. I was actually considering selling the rifle to buy one of the newer models because of how little luck I had with the rotary mags. This new bottom metal is a godsend, and I can buy this now and switch mags instead of selling what I have, buying a new gun and then buying a new stock as well. Just wanted to let you guys know another case for this. It's basically a fix for the older models with the terrible mags.
Hey, thanks for that. I wouldn't
Yeah,
know.
I was like,
Yeah.
that is exceptional. I put it in here because I'm like, hey, we don't claim to know everything. So,
Zane
well,
does.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
well.
what do I do? I missed that.
So yeah, that was in there. I was like, yeah, I'm throwing that in there because that's good to know, because
I didn't realize
it's
all the new the
I don't
Ruger
know if
American series
all of them
were all
do, but
magazine fed.
I don't know all of them if all of them are.
I went to
But
their website and it looked like it.
okay.
I could be wrong. I kind of just glanced at it a little bit the other day, and it looked like they all had
Yeah.
magazines.
And our next one comes straight from Facebook in the something, and we're gonna let Tony read this one
Oh, great. This comes from.
because it comes from his fanboy.
No, it's Sean's fanboy.
Okay.
It's our fan club.
Oh, okay.
Cody G. This is his play-by-play of episode 281. On this week's episode of Gun and Gear Review Podcast, Tony Simon, he dead from scanning a cat or whatever that means. Zane Mangiulo opts for reduced recoil pistol loads, accepts .22 long rifle as his favorite caliber for micro rifles. Sean Fisher is still MIA, probably from Zane's boating accident or clandestine operations behind the New Jersey front lines. Rob acutely has a speaking part and good insight on pistol comps. Chad Wallace continues to broadcast the signal to the wasteland about his shooting match and how amazing his new cube comp is for its combat multiplier effect after he bounce rolled off a D20. TJ's whereabouts are still unknown, maybe somewhere in shorts with an ankle holster. Ryan Cross, who I think he still owes me a Benchmade 940. Oh yeah, and something about another not a Glock and a 1911 Two World Wars thing. Oh, dude, you know how long you had to be listening to get the TJ reference with the ankle holster and the shorts?
The thing is he didn't send this to us. He just posted in the Black Bag Resources fan club thing or whatever. And I'm like, I'm going to copy this and put it in the show notes because it's too funny. So
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Dude, so
yeah.
That was great.
So, Tony, it's now time to tell us all the things about this diversity shoot.
Diversity shoot is coming up on August 22nd. Gun for higher range, gonna be fun, gonna have guns, gonna bring a lot of stuff to it. So there are going to be lever actions, there are going to be semi-autos, there's going to be the hunting tactical, there's going to be the high tower bullpup, all that stuff, plus food, fun, and prizes. So can't wait for you guys to come out and introduce new people to guns. Plus we got that 50 cal on the 50-yard line that you can send rounds down range because obviously new people aren't afraid to shoot 50 cals now. If you didn't know, a bunch of the new shooters, I think all of the new shooters, dropped money and fired the 50 cal at the last diversity shoot. So hopefully you guys can come out again. What else we're doing? Oh, you can donate on our GoFundMe to help us out with our mission of introducing new people to firearms and help pay for some ammo, whatever Floyd didn't burn through when I let him run the 9mm booth. Sorry. The t-shirts, you can go ahead and get some of our t-shirts from 1022clothing.us. That's a redirect to my t-shirt guy, BCG Wear. He makes them to order, so you can get one of those. It'll be awesome. You want to get a $10 rally shirt? That's great. I don't get paid on that. If you want to become a patron on Patreon, feel free to do that. Yankee Marshall will be giving a firearm away to one of our $20 and above members. So during the month of July, join up as a $20 member and you may receive a handgun from Yankee Marshall. So get busy with that. Go on patreon.com to a 4E podcast. That will help with that. So we got the GoFundMe, we got the t-shirts. If you want to donate to Black Bag through Black Bag Resources, go online there, buy a product from Black Bag Resources, type in 2A4E in the coupon code, and that item will be brought to the diversity shoot. Also, I got an email from Hunting Tactical, and they say if you buy one of their rifles and type that 2A4E in the comment section that you purchase it because you heard about it on this show or heard about it from us, for every 10th rifle they sell, they will donate one to the diversity shoot. And I have stated publicly that the minute I get a donated rifle from them, it will get donated to CNJFO Youth Shoot. So one of the kids there can win one of their rifles. So by purchasing one of those rifles, you're going to help make the diversity shoot grow and bring a new generation into the shooting sport. So I think that's everything. I really appreciate you guys having me on every week. Again, August 22nd is the next diversity shoot. The last Sunday in July is the very next Minuteman Challenge, and that's going to be handgun. So bring your rolling specials out and see if you can make the magic happen. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
And to tag on to Tony's stuff, since nobody's listening anymore anyway, if you're going to TriggerCon up in Bellevue, Washington, I will be there. I don't know if I'm going to Range Day yet or not, but I will be there the 26th and 27th of this month. If you see me, say hi. If you want to ignore me, that's fine too. So send questions, comments, or feedback to gungearreview@gmail.com. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review, or just send us, feedback, whatever, weird stories about, our podcast, stuff like that. Check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. Be sure to visit the Firearms Insider. What? What's Tony laughing at now?
I read ahead.
Oh, okay. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Firearms Insider. And don't forget on Instagram to go, tag some people and enter to win a half 28 cube compensator. So thank you for listening to the largest pound for pound podcast on the network. And we are out. Oh, and by the way, I fired Felicia. She's dead.
Bye, Felicia. Oh, you so silly. I fired Felicia. She's dead. Felicia never die.